Welcome to Pound for Pound ATL, arguably the best place to get facts and opinions on your Atlanta Falcons. And absolutely the best place to get your opinions in. The conversation starts now.
What's going on, football fans? It's me, J.R. Clark, with my main man, Toby D, back with another Pound for Pound ATL Live. We are 3 weeks away, my friends. We are 3 weeks away from the NFL draft. We can finally start to put this speculation stuff to bed, and then we can start talking about the team that we have going in. This has been a wild, ride this offseason. I don't remember an offseason quite like this one. Obviously, you kick it off really with, really kick it off with trading away your franchise quarterback after trying to secure another potential franchise quarterback. And, and that leaves a lot of people like feeling one way or the other. And we're not really going to get into all that again tonight. That's what we did last week. So all that's kind of to bed right at this moment. But now we're sitting here 3 weeks away looking at what are we going to do, in the draft coming up. That's the answer. You got smoke screens going galore. Everybody should be happy today because it came out that we're meeting with Kayvon Thibodeau out on the West Coast, doing a workout with him. Well, at least a meeting. I'm assuming they'll do a workout. But then like the low side of that for most of Falcons Twitter is that it came out that I think next week they'll be meeting with Malik Willis. So just like last year, this draft is wide open, dude.
Yeah.
I had a guy hit me up on Twitter a little bit before we got on the show, before we, made the call, asking me, what I thought, like what would be my dream scenario. And my dream scenario, like as it stands 3 weeks out, is Kayvon Thibodeau or Kyle Hamilton. And now this guy who hit me up, he's connected to PFF. So his comeback response was, "Oh, Hamilton, good luck. You're in luck. Hamilton will be there. Nobody really drafts a safety that high." And I kind of chuckled because that was the same narrative last year when you started the pitch train. Oh, you don't take a tight end that high. That you just don't do that. You don't spend a top 10 pick, much less the number 4 overall pick, on a tight end. Well, guess what we did?
Yeah.
Spent the number 4 on tight end. So now here's that narrative coming back around again. Oh, you don't spend that high of a pick on a safety. Well, I almost guarantee you this. If he's considered the best player in the draft, period, then they'll spend the 8th pick on him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's number one guy on my board still, even with the slow 40 time, because the 40 time means nothing compared to the game film that you watch. It's game speed speaks for itself.
Well, especially in that position, what made Earl Thomas elite was up here. The only thing that kept Ricardo Allen on the field for as long as it did was up here.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you're the deep safety, what you need is play recognition.
Mm-hmm.
You need that football intelligence, that smarts, and Hamilton's got that in spades.
All day.
It lets him diagnose those plays and be heading that way. Because realistically, what you're talking about at a slow 40 time, you're talking about a 1/10 of a second in a straight line. How often do football players, especially defensive football players, get to run in a straight line?
Right.
So this is the time of year where we can get caught up in things like 40 times or hand sizes or what have you. This is when you start nitpicking, and you can end up developing player fatigue.
Yeah.
Like, I find myself this week going back to players that I scouted in January to see if my opinion has changed, since then. Because you've watched so much in between, like, you may have a different opinion, or you may have wanted to go with your gut feeling. Like, my initial gut feeling about Jermaine Johnson. Like, that's a scouting, like, in the sense of writing up, like, scouting reports, I'm still, like, early in this game, right? Like, this is the first year I've ever really tried to write down, what I saw and put together a scouting report.
Right.
So I initially watched Jermaine Johnson, and I was like, this dude's a first-round talent. But then I got gun-shy because of the consensus. The consensus, like, acted like he was a day 2, day 3 guy. So I was like, maybe I'm wrong. And then when we came out of the Senior Bowl, what was the talk at the Senior Bowl? The dude was lighting it up.
He top
Exactly.
10.
Exactly. And
yeah,
so,
I killed that.
like, I'll take that lesson. And I purposely on the website didn't go and change my report because I wanted to leave that there for a reminder to me to, stick with my guns. Like, call it as I see it. Don't let myself be influenced by others. Woom Carter has already tipped us $5, which we appreciate. Big time, Woom.
Appreciate that, Doc.
He says, rise up, pound for pound family. Can anyone answer why is Stephen Means still on the team? He is not on the team.
He's not.
Stephen Means is a free agent. He's on the streets. I appreciate your $5, but he is not on the team. Like, I will double check while we are here. I'm gonna pull up Spotrack's website and pull up their free agent list. And if I'm not mistaken, he is on the free agent market. So he is not on our team. So in this later part of the process, I gave you my Jermaine Johnson. Do you have a Jermaine Johnson type story, I guess you could say, either from this draft or another? Some guy that you were high on, but you let the crowd change your mind?
Yeah, I pretty much stayed consistent where I was at. I mean, I'm hearing a lot of people talking about Kayvon dropping down. Kayvon is still a top 5 player on my board. I have not changed that. They talked about Kyle Hamilton dropping because of his 40 time. That has not changed. He's still number 1 on my board. Guys on my board have stayed consistent despite what I hear. If they drop down, boy, you just got yourself a lucky break if you get Kayvon at 8, and he should have went in the top 5 because that guy is a top 5 player. I don't care what anybody says. His film shows it. He should go as 1 or 2.
Oh, yeah.
But he may not. But it is what it is. I mean, Trayvon Walker's getting a lot of hype. I have not changed my board just because he's getting all that top 10 hype. He's still in my 20s. He has not moved.
Yeah, I'm like, I feel like Trayvon Walker is a case in point of you're betting on the traits.
Yes,
and which is fine. If you see that and you think this guy, like, via his testing, via all the measurables, if you think that guy is going to, turn into a All-Pro, then yeah, you take him top 10, but you better be convinced.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, apparently, it's been reported that he's going to visit the top 6 teams in this draft. So it's looking like he'll go from 1 to 6.
Oh, yeah. No, it's going to be interesting to see where he does end up. And also keep something in mind, folks, as you're doing your mock draft simulators, as you're watching, NFL Network or ESPN, as you're reading articles, heck, as you're even listening to me and Toby, like, we don't know. Like, our opinions are far different than the NFL's actual opinions. They have access to information and people that we could only dream to have access of. Like, as far as Kayvon Thibodeau goes, they can go talk to his coaches and players. Like, they can go talk to the guys who were in the locker room with Kayvon. They can get a far clearer picture of this guy's motor and motivations.
Yeah.
Like, far more than what... I'm sorry, guys, you can't determine actually how motivated a guy is just by watching film.
Right.
Case in point, Vic Beasley. Like, you put on that Clemson field, dude looked like a monster.
Yeah.
Like, looked like an absolute relentless freak. And gets into the league, what do you get? Pretty much uncoachable. No real interest in, like, refining his craft. Wants to rely on his speed and speed alone. Yeah. Doesn't develop a counter move. And now where is he? Hopefully doing what he said and starting a church somewhere. Everybody makes that joke, but if that's where his passion is, I hope he's doing it.
Yeah.
Straight up. You can tell I don't talk all day, and I get on here and start talking a lot, and my throat gets scratchy. Well, I got 2 drinks over here. None of them working. Now, I will say this, as far as I'm concerned, I am not really blown away by any of these wide receivers in this class. Like, I watch them and I try to see it. I don't see a Jamar Chase necessarily. Yeah. Like, even the Alabama kids, you know, Williamson and Mechie, they look like really good receivers, but they're like, their tape isn't necessarily just like, doesn't scream like top 10 wide receiver. Now, is that the way you feel on it, or do you got a different opinion on any of those guys?
If I'm drafting any wide receiver, and I've stayed consistent with this, Williamson will be the only one I'm taking at top 10. I think he is worthy of a top 10 pick. Now, even though I don't have him in my top 10 anymore, because after further looking at a lot of the other talent, I do feel that there's other talent that's better than him at their position. I think right now he's currently at 11 or 12 on my board right now. But there was a point I did have him in my top 10 early on before the Senior Bowl came up. But he would be the only guy that I would take it in top 10. I like Garrett Wilson. I like Garrett Wilson. But for me, I'm not going to be mad at the Falcons take him at 8. I can see why, because he definitely fits what we want to do. He's not the prototypical type that Arthur Smith has been used to in Tennessee, but he fits the other things that we do like to do within the scheme. But I don't have him in my top 10.
Right.
I think he's my top 13 or 14 player on the board. And Treylon Burks is my 19th player on the board. And he's my 3rd wide receiver ranked in this class, behind Jameson Williams and Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, I tend to agree there. Like, for me, I think I got it the other way around. Like, I got Burks in between, like, in my mind, in between Wilson and, I got Garrett Wilson up top, and then Jameis Williamson about 3rd, and then Treylon Burks in the middle there. But even with that being said, like, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna be upset if they take a guy, if they take Garrett Wilson at 8. But I mean, I will be kind of looking somewhat sideways if they take him at 8 when Hamilton is sitting there, or Jermaine Johnson sitting there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'd be like, all right, fine, but it wouldn't make me like ecstatic.
Yeah.
But again, I don't have access to the information that they do. And that's something that I try to remind myself of that. If they feel like a guy they really want isn't going to be there at 43 and Wilson's there at 8, and it's been reported that they're going to be aggressive, you know, going after a wide receiver, then take him at 8 and we'll keep moving. Because I do feel like this is a deep defensive draft, and there's aspects of it that are deep on the offensive side.
Right.
So, but anyway, we'll get back into draft talk here in a minute. The team has made a handful of added free agent signings this week. Most notably, Rashaan Evans out of Tennessee, former first overall, or not former first round pick of the Titans, and had his best years under Dean Pease. So you lose Foye, which initially hurt, and but you pick up Rashaan Evans, who is familiar with Dean Pease, and that should ease the wound, ease the hurt of losing Foye Oluokun. What's your early thoughts on Evans?
I mean, I will say this now. Terrell them have been doing a good job at finding value based on what they couldn't keep.
Right.
I.e. Russell Gage. Couldn't keep Russell Gage because he was going to outprice himself out of an Atlanta Falcons uniform. So what do? You be patient. Demir Bird is right there for you, because that to me is your version of Russell Gage, but faster.
Exactly.
A guy that projects that could get you 600, 700 yards and 5 touchdowns on the season. Had a great year with New England. So you got your replacement there at a cheaper rate. You know what I'm saying? So Russell Gage, good luck to you.
Right.
But we found someone else who can replace you at the value of what you would be at and what we think you should be at. So I feel good about the Rashaan Evans pick. I mean, to bring him in after visit, that is a great look for you because he already understands your scheme. It's not going to have a huge learning curve there. So you plug him in and play and keep it moving. Now, I am curious about, I'm guessing do you understand at this point, because they've already paid his roster bonus on March 18th.
Yeah, I mean.
So I'm guessing he's staying.
I guess right now, and I wonder if they're just going to let him fight out with Walker for that spot, or if they ends up being a post June 1 cut to recoup some more cap to pay your draftees.
Could be.
D. Sloan tipped us $2, which we appreciate that, D.
D. Sloan.
He said, do you guys have wide receiver Olave on your board? Of course. I mean, Chris Olave right now on my board is ranked 15th. And on Toby's board, hold on, I'm going to put this in chat while we're talking, so if y'all want to look at it and point and laugh, there's the link to my board. since everybody likes, y'all see them folks coming at my head for that mock draft I did at 3:00 in the morning. I was half asleep, man. Y'all can't get mad at me for that.
You ain't got to make no excuses for it. If that's what you see, that's what you see.
In Toby's top 50, he has Chris Olave at 21. So about middle. I'm gonna put Toby's in there as well. So if y'all want to check that out, that's my top 50 rankings and Toby's top 50 rankings. I guess that's our opening salvo initially. Let's go ahead and get into chat. Kind of a slow week this week, really. Got a lot of things we're going to talk about, but nothing super pressing. So I want to go ahead and get in chat and get y'all involved. Willie Doc says, evening, y'all. Let's get it. What's up, Willie? We appreciate you being here. Yes,
sir. Let's go.
Dexter Vallish waves at us. What's going on, Dexter? False Start Falcon says, what's up, people? We already talked with our buddy D. Sloan, and Joshua Levy said, what's up, man? What's going on, Josh? YMOF Jamal says, what's up, P4P family? What's going on, man?
What's up, fam?
Charleston Nash says, what's up, man? Our good buddy and Patreon, Charleston Nash. How are you doing, sir? Mississippi Paper says, family, it's getting real interesting around here. It's starting to get thick. That's all I'm saying. That smoke is building. That's why I'm coughing. That's why I'm coughing, Toby. Saw that smoke.
That smoke
right.
got you coughed
up. Our good buddy King 7, he says, yes, sir, pound for pound. Glad to see you guys. Glad to see you too, King. Jolt Gaming says, this season won't be perfect, but we won't have a losing streak. Oh, that's bold there. If we don't have a losing streak, that means we at least, or would end up 9-8 or 8-9, right? Not 8.
Something like that.
Something around in there. Chris James says, pound the table for Kayvon Thibodeau. He's one to pound the table for, man.
Yeah, and he just might be
if
there.
He's there, boy, he'd be hard to walk away from. Yeah. Melvin Emery says, what's up, fellas? What's going on, Melvin? Willie Dog says, Toby D, I thought Sauce was your guy.
He is my guy. I ain't changed.
That's right.
But I don't think he's going to be that.
I don't think so.
He's gone.
I don't think so.
And remember, the only guy I said that if I can't get him is who? Kayvon Thibodeau. You can go back on the records. I got the receipts.
Southside 12 says, I think we go Jordan Davis or Kayvon Thibodeau. D-line is the only position we didn't address in free agency. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Lorenzo Carter, like, he plays on, like, he's an edge guy, right?
Yeah,
I mean, have they listed him as a linebacker, or is he going to have that outside linebacker DN/DE?
I think he is. Yeah.
So, I mean, you could consider that addressing the line. Same thing with bringing back Anthony Rush.
I'm loving that move. I'm going to tell you that right now. I really feel good about Anthony Rush, his second year with us, man, because he showed some great signs last year. And I think another year with this defense, I think he's going to put that thing together.
King says, I think the reason he said that was because safety being a defensive player that's secondary, they don't have a bigger upside. Oh, we're talking about like why safeties don't get picked as high. Well, it's just because they're not as valued, or at least they haven't been. I think the value's starting to change. But they haven't been.
It depends on how you look at it. I mean, Mark Barron went 6th overall to the Bucs back in the day. So he didn't pan out as good as they would have liked for him to, but he still went high in the top 10.
Right, exactly.
So it just depends on how you're looking at it.
Let's see. Red Beezy says, what best talent available at 8? Who would most likely be still on the board? That's the hard part right now. Because this can go so many different ways. There's a scenario that has Evan Neal still on the board at 8. And I'm going to go ahead and call it.
Yeah.
If Evan Neal is sitting there and they take him, I ain't going to be mad at all. Because what you got to think about right now is with Mariota as your quarterback. I'm trying, Toby. I'm really trying to be positive. Anyway, with Mariota as your quarterback, it's plain as day to me now, for sure. With Trey Lance last year, what they tried to do with Felipe Franks last year, Deshaun Watson, and now Mariota, it's plain as day that they want a mobile quarterback, obviously. Obviously, right? Yeah. With that, now you need your tackles to be stronger.
Yeah.
Before, with Ryan, you needed the center of the pocket to be stout, to keep Ryan clean, to allow him to step up. Okay? Yeah. Mobile quarterbacks, they tend to go side to side and make those throws on the run. So you're going to need, tackles that can move in space, which I believe is why they re-signed Jake Matthews. Because Jake Matthews is at his best when he's on the move. Okay?
Yeah.
And also, so if Evan Neal is sitting there, that could be an interesting aspect that we hadn't really even talked about. He would be a far major upgrade over McGarry.
Oh, yeah, and even if he ain't over on McGarry, Jalen Mayfield, because he can play the guard spot as well. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's so difficult to really tell this year, man, because you just don't know which way the Falcons are going to go. I mean, I'm hearing Desmond Ritter's name is tearing my ears up right now.
You're trying to set the chat on fire.
Dude, I'm just saying, you got folks talking about him at 8 and doing mock draft with him at 8. And I'm sitting out here like, oh, well, I mean, if that's what the Falcons want to do, I mean, you do what you got to do. If you really feel that Desmond Ritter is worth an 8 pick and he's not going to be there at 43, I mean, you do what you got to do, Doc. I don't see it.
Look.
I mean, but,
I'll put you like this, man. This is something that we kind of touched on a minute ago. they have access to things we don't have access to.
Yeah, they do.
And when I sit here and watch the film that I have access to, I'm not saying I think he's going to be great, but I can watch Desmond Ridder and go, okay, I see it. I see what would intrigue an NFL franchise. When I watch Malik Willis, I see it. I see what could intrigue an NFL franchise. Both guys have mobility. Both guys have big arms. Now, they got things they got to work on. And I think that's every quarterback in this draft class. Like, straight up.
Yeah.
But, I mean, go back and look at how Fields performed, how Trevor Lawrence performed, how Zach Wilson performed. Mac Jones performed the best out of all of them because he went to the best situation.
Right.
So, if they're taking this guy and they know, hey, look, we're gonna start Mariota this season regardless of what happens. We're gonna pull a San Francisco. We might put Ridder in on some packages or Malik in on some packages. Let him, use his legs or what have you just to get into some games. But Mariota's the reason, he's gonna start, right? If that's the plan, then you take him in the first and you get the 5th year. I heard somebody say, oh, well, they don't value the 5th year all that much. That, to me, is a load of crap. And the reason why I say that, the only reason why I say that, is because the team chooses to pick up the 5th year. The player has no say whether that 5th year gets picked up or not. One thing I know for sure about NFL teams, they like control. So if they feel like, man, this draft is super deep at wide receiver, man, this draft is super deep at defensive end and edge and all that other stuff, man, this draft is super deep at running back. What is this draft not super deep at? Quarterback. What have they come out and told you already? They're going to add to this quarterback room.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's the draft, trade.
They've used all those. Yeah. They're going to add to this quarterback room.
But I will say this about Ridder, dude. He's my 6th ranked quarterback for a reason, dog. I don't see what you see. What I see is a guy that's going to be an interception machine. He has no control over how he throws the football all the time, and that concerns me. And Peyton Manning got like that his last year with the Indianapolis Colts, where he lost control of how to throw the football. And that's one of the biggest reasons why they let him go. Not just the neck injury. They started seeing his footballs wavering a lot, and safeties is right there waiting on it to catch it. And I don't see it. And then, too, to me, Ridder is like a bland potato salad. And I love potato salad. And I know what bland potato salad tastes like, too, because I don't taste people bland potato salad when they don't put enough seasonings in there and do it. He's not going to excite me to get to no Mercedes-Benz Stadium on Sunday. I'm telling you that right now. He don't excite me. It just, if I'm going, I would rather you take Malik Willis at 8 or Matt Corral at 8 than to take Ridder at 8. Ridder doesn't excite me on Sunday. Now, if you're going to take Ridder, you better get that defense tight, bro, because that defense, now, the defense is what it would excite me if you're going to take Ridder to balance out bringing somebody like Ridder in there. And that's just what I see. I just don't see what everybody's seeing Ridder. But if they take him, you know me, I'm going to support whoever on the team. Now, buying a jersey, that's another story. I can't see myself buying no Desmond Ridder jersey. And I'm just being honest. I'm saying it here on record.
No.
I don't see him as excited me as a quarterback in this league. And if you take him, it's because, like I said before, comparison, Jason Campbell, because Arthur Smith has seen Jason Campbell up close when he was with Washington, the time that Joe Gibbs was there. And that's the only comparison that I have for him. But where is Jason Campbell now?
No, what I see, okay, I guess I should quantify when I make statements. My top 2 quarterbacks in this draft, which again aren't I still don't think this quarterback class is all that spectacular, obviously. But my top 2 guys are Ridder and Willis, and for totally different reasons. Willis, to me, sorry, Willis to me represents a much higher ceiling. To me, Willis has the highest ceiling of the quarterbacks in this class. Like, period, point blank. He has the athleticism. He, when he takes off running, a lot of times he's looking downfield to throw, which I like. When he does decide to really just, run, like, okay, I'm not running, looking downfield and then running. No, I'm just running. He is a lot quicker than I thought. Okay. He's got a real good deep ball. His accuracy is hard to tell for me. Is it, poor play on the wide receivers, or is his accuracy a little off? Because when you're at a school like Liberty, that is a question that has to be asked. Same thing with some of the mechanics. Like, if you want a guy who can perform playing after a bad offensive line, Malik Willis did that at Liberty. Like, almost every snap, somebody's sitting in his back pocket. So now, but you're like, JR, convince me on Ritter. What I'll convince you on Ritter is, out of this group, I think he's the one that starts the soonest. Like, if you get midway through the season and Mariota gets hurt, as he's prone to do, like, I think Ritter has the best chance of coming in and performing well, in year one, because the scheme that they run at Cincinnati is very similar to what we have seen Arthur Smith run. It's a lot of play action. It's a lot of RPOs. It's a lot of heavy on the screen game. Okay, so these are concepts that Ritter's already familiar with. Now, you want to talk about, like, excitement? No, I'm not excited about any of these quarterbacks. Everybody's like, oh, well, just wait till next year. Next year isn't guaranteed, okay? Straight up. Like, we'll talk about next year's quarterbacks at the end of next year, when we have a full season of what Stroud looks like or what Young looks like, if they even decide to come out. So, I'm not even worried about next year's quarterback. I'm talking about this year's quarterback. This year's quarterback class, when we have Mariota suiting up for us. That's what I'm talking about. Okay?
Right.
So, if they decide they want to trade with Baltimore and get Brett Huntley, or I think it's Huntley, and the backup that excites everybody up there, and bring him in and let him, fight with Mariota for a starting job, I don't care. Like, I'm focused on this year and this year alone. Next year will worry about itself. Because there's already been a precedent set in that aspect with the Arizona Cardinals. You took Josh Rosen. You found yourself in not very happy with Josh Rosen and in position to take Kyler Murray. So you took him. And I'm going to go ahead and call it right now. Kyler Murray has not necessarily impressed me on the pro level. He does some wow things, but he seems to only be able to operate when everything completely breaks down and there's no structure going on. Now, I don't know if that's a product of their system. I haven't studied it. A lot of people blame Cliff Kingsbury, and maybe he's the problem. All I know is every time I turn it on, the only time they seem to be able to move the ball is when he's flailing around back there like a toddler, because that's what he looks like to me. So, yeah, as far as Ritter goes, I think he's the one that is able to come in and start the soonest. And I think he's the one that's able to come in and pick up the offense, because it's similar to what they did in Cincy, and I don't think he's going to be sitting there at 43. But you take Ritter and you're hitching your wagon to Ritter. And I don't know if they necessarily will do that.
Yeah. And well, I'm going to tell you this much. If Ritter comes in here, whatever team go to, even if it's the Falcons, he lights it up and proves me wrong, I would be happy to be one of the first in line to buy a Ritter jersey, but I don't see it.
Look.
Now, what I will tell you is this, and I'll go on record saying this, not a disrespect about Matt Corral, and I'm telling y'all right now, Matt Corral is the best quarterback in this class, and he's going to come in and light it on fire, and y'all going to be mad if we do not take him. I'm telling y'all, just from what I know and see.
Okay, just like where you at with Ritter, I will come on and fully admit that like if that happens, I'll admit I was wrong. Because when I watch Corral, what I see with Corral is one read and go. And that bothers the crap out of me. When he hits that ball, it's either hand off, the one read, or run. And that's it. And you can't do that in the NFL. Like, you got to be able to process more than just that. And that bothers me. That very rarely, like I think I've seen it maybe once or twice a game where he makes more than one read. And you got to do that snap in and snap out in the NFL. You know, because the schemes are so complicated on what the defenses are trying to do to confuse you. And Corral gets into the mode of playing hero ball too much. And he's going to get himself killed on the NFL level. He's going to take off and run, and Fred Warner or Bobby Wagner or whoever, pick your hardest hitting whoever, is going to come in and take his head off. His deep ball, he consistently overthrows his receivers. Again, this is where my inexperience comes into play, and I'll fully admit it to anybody. I don't know if he's overthrowing the receivers or the receivers aren't running the full correct route. All I know is more times than not, like, I'm hearing the announcers comment on him overthrowing the receivers. So, are those fixable things? Obviously. Like, when I should have pulled it up before we got going, but like, go back if you're ever, bored one day, go back and read the scouting reports on Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. Like, Patrick Mahomes, I read it the other day. It straight him down said he's either going to make his head coach extremely happy or dive in an early grave. That was Mahomes coming out of Texas Tech. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, if Corral comes in and proves me wrong, just like with Cordell Patterson, I'll admit it in a heartbeat. When we signed Cordell, it was an afterthought to a point where we were in the preseason before I really remembered he was on the roster. And he become the spark plug of our offense. So if they take Corral, like say Willis, Pickett, and Ritter, because that seems like the going rate right now, or those three quarterbacks somewhere in the first round. So say those guys are gone and they really like Corral and they take Corral in a second at 43. I ain't going to be upset. Won't be mad one bit. I won't even care if they take him at 8. To be completely honest with you. Because at this point, it's how you're going to use him. How you're going to develop him that I'm more interested in. Our best defensive lineman was picked in the 5th round. Dak Prescott, 4th round. Russell Wilson, 3rd round. Tony Romo, undrafted. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't get caught up. I'm trying not to get caught up in the, you can't pick this person here.
Yeah.
If you got a plan for him and you are like stuck in your conviction there, then take him. If it don't work out, take another one. I don't care. I mean, just like, can we like seriously say the last 2 teams that won the Super Bowl, one traded for an aging quarterback and the other one signed an old quarterback.
Yeah.
So it really seems like we're going full circle again, where the model of getting proven players over rookies is coming back into vogue. So, yeah, I just hope they got a plan for it. That's my thing.
I mean, I'm with whoever they pick, fine with me. Like, look, if you're wearing the jersey, I'm supportive. But what they got to realize, we don't have the information that they have. If they're in love with Desmond Ridder, they'll take him. It doesn't matter what we say, but you better know that he is truly the guy that can come in there and handle business, because you, him, and Arthur will all be out on your butts.
Oh yeah,
if you don't get this right.
No doubt. Like, so, straight up and down, at the end of the day, like, honestly, if you want my honest opinion, I could see them, like, because of what you just said, not taking a quarterback this year.
And they probably won't, but I don't think they can afford not to.
Well, because as soon as you pull that trigger, you're tied to that guy. And if that guy fails, you are very secured on being gone.
Yeah.
And, like, so there's two schools of thought on, like, swing until you get it. And that's fine. You're going to swing until you get it. But just know that if you miss, more than likely you're out on your job. Out on your butt.
Yeah.
All right. we got sidetracked, Toby. Like, I have fully intended to come in here talking about the defense. And we over here arguing about.
Just got me riled up.
We over here arguing about Malik Willis and Desmond Ridder. Okay. Let's see here. Blizzard Wolfgang says, with the 8th pick, I had Karlaftis, but he runs a 4.7, same as Hutchinson. But now I'll pick a Jobo. He runs a 4.6 flat, or Trayvon Walker. Well, you could probably get a Jobo in a third now, second or back into the second or the third because of his injury. I don't know, man. I don't know, Blizz. I just don't know if I can base my draft pick off of 40 times. It's so much more than just 40 times. Celerity says, nah, Toby. Corral, he's like a version of Zach Wilson.
Okay. We'll see.
But I mean, hey, Zach Wilson.
We'll see. Now, everybody, it's fine. Everybody saying what they're saying. I want all y'all back to the table, front and center, when he starts blowing it up. If we don't pick him, I don't want to hear nothing about what God dog we should have took Matt Corral. And you heard me say it. I want to hear it. But anyway, keep on moving.
Oh man, I must be on the wrong side of the moon. King 7 says I agree with JR on this one. I might need to rethink my take there, Toby, if me and King are on the same page.
Hey, you're fine.
Southside says, actually, to me, the best overall QB are Carson Strong and Bailey Zapp. I'll say this about Bailey Zapp. You don't luck into 63 touchdowns. I don't know how many times I said that down at Mobile. You don't look into 63 touchdowns. Oh, man. Chris James says, when it comes to the DE, the 10-second split is far more important than their 40 times. Exactly. 10-second split, 3-cone drills, agility, the hula hoop drill. Like, how can you bend? Like, do you have any, like, hip flexion, or are you stiff, It's so much more than just 40 times. Eric McDowell says taking Willis is a setback. I mean, it could possibly be. Like, all I know is in this particular draft, I'd be hesitant in taking a quarterback if I'm Terry Fontenot. Falcons fan extraordinaire. All these quarterbacks coming out this year, he gives a thumb down. The Falcons are doomed. They're not doomed. According to most all y'all, regardless of what we do, we're gonna have a losing schedule anyway. So, like, we could easily find ourselves right back in the top 10 next year. Let's see. King says Willis is a step up. He's a student of the game, always willing to learn, and that's great. Greatness about him. I do agree. Willis does need to sit a year, though, to be greater sooner rather than later. I think all these guys need to sit a year at minimum.
All of them. But some, they all do.
So, let's see. Damian says Corral has a cannon. I've seen him make multiple reads in SEC competition. And that's that's great. Like, I'm not sitting here saying I've watched every snap of Matt Corral, because I have not. I have watched 3, maybe 4 games. So I'm not going to sit here and say I know everything about Matt Corral. I will say this, dude's tough as nails. And that I can appreciate. You know, I can appreciate his toughness. He does have a cannon for an arm. But so did Jamarcus Russell. So, I mean, yeah. There's certain, it's you got to be the total package for me, right? Let's see. Keep on rocking. Benjamin says, which QB y'all think would be a good fit for us? I said something about right. Let's talk. He said, "Oh, never mind. Let's talk about defense."
Yeah, let's get on the defense.
Oh,
we don't
went down a rabbit trail, my man. Let's see. Let's see. Somebody says if they're Terry, I'm trading back. Maybe they do. Like maybe with the Saints doing what they did with Philly, grabbing up more draft ammo. You know, there's a big thought process that they may be trying to move up. So, you know, it could be a deal where somebody feels like they got to jump the Saints, you know, and keep them from moving up. So, yeah, it could be real interesting. Bradley says, he said, I just woke up from a nap late to the party. What's up, guys? I hope we build a defense worth respecting in Atlanta. We haven't really had since Abraham was lighting dudes up a decade ago. Dude, I would love to build a defense. And I really feel like you made a statement about that's why Pease didn't retire.
Yeah.
And I wonder if you want to expand on that thought.
Well, you see the moves that they're making. I think it was already discussed. Look, I'm going to work with what I got, but y'all going to have to get me something if I'm going to come back here. And, you know, I think they're showing him a show of good faith by bringing him better talent, even though a lot of these guys are on one-year deals. But that's a perfect setup because, like we've been saying, if they blow up, you have the opportunity to present them in 2023 with a longer-term agreement. If Lorenzo Carter comes in here and is able to build off of what he did the last 4 games of the Giants with, 5 sacks and whatnot, you got yourself a young prospect who has NFL experience on that pass rushing side of the ball. I mean, look at the secondary, man. You brought in Heyward, right? I mean, that's definitely an upgrade over Fabian Moreau. And you already got superstar A.J. Terrell on the other side, and now Oliver is back. I mean, them 3 guys right there. Man, Oliver was on his way. Yeah,
and they're towards the end of the season. Like Eric Harris was actually playing decent ball. Like it seemed like he was really starting to finally grasp what Pease was wanting out of him, or maybe Pease adjusted his scheme. But either way, you brought back Harris for a nice depth piece, just in case you're still not, convinced about Richie Grant or Jalen Hawkins, and if you get a dream scenario where Hamilton is sitting there and you take him at 8, holy Pete. Somebody says, I think it was our buddy Charleston Nash said if we landed Hamilton or Sauce, he was going to call the secondary Channel 2 Action News, coverage you could count on. And I was like, yeah.
That's just what that'd be.
And I like that, because, it would be great. But it seemed like there for a little while we were turning into Chicago South with Ryan Pace. But I think they finally kicked him out of the GM chair for a minute. Terry got back control, and we picked up some non-Bears players. It's so funny because that's the kind of stuff that I expected to happen last year, in all honesty.
Yeah.
Like getting, getting players that the coaches were familiar with. And it seems to be happening more this year. Yeah,
because they are available this
year.
As opposed to last year.
And available and cheap, because they're coming off. Yeah. The one I'll be interested to see what Rashaan Evans signed for. I know it was a 1-year deal, but was it like $3 or $4 million? He didn't seem like he'd be willing to take the cut and paste, 1 year, $1 million that everybody seemed to be getting.
He may not have.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all put in chat, do y'all want to do a mock draft tonight? because I'm debating. We didn't do one last week or last live stream because obviously we had the Ryan stuff to talk about. But if y'all want to do one, we'll do one here in a minute. Y'all let me know in the chat. Until then, I'm going to read some more of y'all's comments. King says, hey, JR, do you don't think we go Malik after wanting Trey badly last year, even when we had Matt? Malik is the same type of QB, and I'm thinking, why not if we can trade back and get a possible extra second? I'll say this. I don't think Malik will be there past 8, honestly. Whether it's Pittsburgh coming up, the Saints moving up, what have you. I don't think Malik makes it out of the top 10. And that goes back to the interview we had with Sean McAvoy. He said then that he didn't think Malik would make it out of the top 10. And that seems to be really coming true. Like it seems to be the writing is definitely on the wall. Look, if he's there at 8 and they like him and they feel like they can do it, then do it. I'm not going to bemoan about it. I'm not going to walk away. Look, if I didn't walk away from the franchise after trading Ryan, definitely ain't going to walk away if they draft Malik. Yeah. And as far as the kid goes himself, I'd love to have Malik here. As far as the person Malik Willis, good, upstanding, Christian man, decided to go to Liberty over being at an SEC school. Like you saw the video of him giving clothes to the homeless man at the combine, and food's like in a lot of ways, as far as from a PR standpoint, he's on the other end of the spectrum of Deshaun Watson. Okay.
Yeah.
You got Watson with 22 civil cases of some questionable activity, and you got Willis giving his clothes to a homeless man. Like, you are so far on the other end of the spectrum, and I'm here for it. As far as that goes. But ultimately, I would much rather have a blue chip defensive prospect or Evan Neal. Evan Neal or Icky. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, if they fall there, I mean, it's just you don't know which way the Falcons are going to go right now this year. I think it is going to become clearer a little later, but probably 2 weeks in before the draft to get a good idea of where they're actually going. But right now, it's muddy waters.
Oh, yeah. Bradley Burnett, man. Bradley Burnett tipped us $5, which we very much appreciate. He says, we need pieces. Now is not the time to draft a QB. Next year and the following year will be much better years with a better team around him. Now, they have talked about that KC model quite a bit of wanting to plug a young QB into a better team. Like, I think that is the biggest downfall of any rookie quarterback, period.
Right.
Is getting plugged into a team that is falling apart around them. And they're expected to come in and just succeed right away. Like, what do you like? Yeah. I'll be really interested to see what Trevor Lawrence looks like this year with a competent NFL coach, and they look like they're at least trying to build the team around him better. Right. So I'm really interested. I really would like to see, like, if Justin Fields takes a better step next year. It'd be interesting. He's now up under another head coach. Same thing with Lawrence. But, yeah, they got to stable this stuff out with those young guys, or they're going to end up wasted picks, really. I hate to say it like that, but that's the case. Benjamin says, hey, would you rather take Sauce or Stingley to be next to AJ and move Heyward to a nickelback? I personally would rather have Sauce myself.
Yeah.
I like his measurables. I like the fact that, he competed at the highest level as early as last year, or as late as last year. So, me personally, I would like Sauce.
Yeah. And that's where I stand too. But tomorrow's going to be a very interesting day for Stingley because all eyes will be on him. LSU is the only last school left for the pro days. Other than Drake London, who has moved his date back, I think, to the 15th of this month, or something like that. So Stingley is going to have all eyes on him. He's going to have to turn in a good 40 time because Sauce, I think he finished with an official 4.41 at the combine.
Right.
So, yeah, he's going to have to come with it tomorrow.
That's it. All right. A handful of y'all have spoken. Y'all want to do a mock. So let's see if we can do over there to a mock. Boom. Let's see if that worked. Looked like it worked. Yay. Okay, so we're going to go with the Falcons and hit next. We're going to do 6 rounds because as of right now, we don't have a 7th. So we're going to go 6. We're going to go fast, obviously, because I ain't trying to sit here all night. Let's get rid of some of these ads. I ain't trying to pay those people. All right, on the board. Ooh. We have Ahmad Sauce Gardner. We have Kyle Hamilton.
Wow.
We have Jermaine Johnson. We have Garrett Wilson. And we have Derek Stingley.
Wow.
So, what y'all thinking? What you feeling? You still on, in this aspect, you still on Sauce?
I'm Sauce until I don't get him.
Sauce until you don't get him.
Yeah, I'm Sauce until his name called.
Our good buddy Ronnie says he wants Hamilton. Nathan wants JJ. Art just said defense. All right, there's a Sauce. Hamilton, Sauce. It is really a toss-up between Hamilton and Sauce.
Yeah.
It looks like Sauce is winning. Yep. All right, we're going Sauce. So, with the 8th overall pick in the 2022 draft, the Atlanta Falcons have picked Ahmad Sauce Gardner. That's what I'm talking about. Wish I could get rid of these stupid ads. I like Draft Network's stuff, but man, their pop-up ads are just, they get on my nerves. All right, anyway. All right. Round 2. We got Perrion Winfrey. We got Christian Harris. We got Kenneth Walker. And we got Matt Corral. There's also Tyler Smith. J-Dog says Winfrey right now.
Yeah, Perrion Winfrey.
Yeah, I mean, this
would be my choice.
I got 2 going for Corral. I'm gonna give a few more. Like for me, it's Winfrey. Here. Like I fell in love with Winfrey right before the draft or right before Mobile. Man, yeah. Mobile like solidified it. Let's see. I'm trying to give somebody wants Nick Benito at 43. On the Draft Network, they're not as high on Benito, so we might be able to get him in the 3rd. Looks like Winfrey's got it. Let's see. Corral, edge, Winfrey. Somebody says check the edge. All right, I'll check the edge, see who's there. Right now you have Arnold Ikebidi, Cameron Thomas, Logan Hall. We can get an edge at the 2nd pick on the in the 2nd round. So let's go with Perrion Winfrey. This is just in case we've traded or decide to move Grady. That's what we'll do there. All right, let's see. Okay,
that's going to be interesting.
We are back. All right, now we could get Christian Harris, linebacker, Kenneth Walker, Isaiah Spiller, or Breece Hall.
Woo.
Or we could go edge. Because, let's see. Edge, we got Josh Pascal, Kingsley Ingbrey, Drake Jackson, Nico Benito. I say we go edge in the 3rd. We could probably get a good edge at the top of the 3rd. Is what I'm thinking. I'm gonna call executive decision. All right, we're going to get our bell cow back here, I think. So, y'all, what do y'all think? Walker, Spiller, or Hall? Ronnie told me we need to edge by now. I see y'all. Don't worry. We're going to get that edge. Somebody says Drake Jackson, please. All right, you know what? A lot of people want an edge. Let's go with an edge. Let's see. Well, it's also pretty deep at running back. So, all right, Josh Pascal, Kingsley Ingbrey, or Drake Jackson. I'm trying to see. I'm gonna let the chat catch up. What you got, Toby? What you think?
I'm Drake Jackson.
Drake Jackson.
He's been getting a lot of connection with the Atlanta Falcons.
All right, let's go Drake Jackson. Let's go him. I liked his motor around the edge. So we'll go Drake Jackson. And we'll see. I'm getting a running back in the third, all right? Y'all know I like my run game. Hey, look, Breece Hall's still there. So I just should pull an executive order and get Breece Hall.
He's, to me, number one to me in this draft class.
All right, we're going with Breece Hall because he had a lot of his production number was out of this world.
Yeah.
All right, we could get real deadly with it. I know we ain't grabbed a wide receiver yet. We could go Isaiah Likely, the other super athletic tight end.
Tight end.
We could go Darian Beavers, linebacker. Brian Asamoah, linebacker. Leo Chanel, linebacker. Channing Tyndale, linebacker. So, hold on. What is going on? Did I didn't lose you, did I?
It froze or something.
Okay. No, I think we're good. Anyway, so let's see. What do we got in wide receiver position?
I can't believe it.
We got Jalen Tolbert.
I thought he might be there.
Kyle Phillips. Wan'Dale Robinson.
Ooh.
Khalil Shakir. And Alec Pierce.
Wow.
That's the pretty good. That's pretty good. They apparently Draft Network doesn't have wide receivers ranked real high. Oh man, everybody's either saying Pierce or Wan'Dale.
Wan'Dale, yeah.
You know, let's go.
I would imagine so.
Let's go with let's see. I really like Pierce. Jalen Tolbert though.
Yeah.
6'3", 190.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. All right, let's go Wan'Dale. I'm seeing a lot of Wan'Dale. I like his skill set. All right, so we got Wan'Dale Robinson. he would be fun with Arthur Smith and his play style.
Yeah. It's a lot of speed.
Yep.
Between him and Demir.
Oh yeah. They could really be going after that Kansas City model.
Yeah.
All right, so in the fourth round, top of the fourth, 114. Oh man, we could get the punt god Matt Ariza.
Yeah.
How people lose their mind if we grabbed a punter in the fourth. Here's your other edge. If y'all want another edge, you got Majay Sanders.
Oh wow.
And D'Angelo Malone.
Mm.
Like he looked good at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah.
Let's see. Damian Pierce, Jalen Woods. Isaiah Thomas.
Jalen Woods is a beast.
Yeah, Jalen Woods is. Oh, everybody's lighting up for Sanders. All right.
Sanders.
Yeah, I like Sanders.
Hey, get another edge.
Yeah. You ain't gotta convince me. It ain't take much convincing. I like Sanders. Like he showed that weight thing was a non-issue.
Yeah.
So that drop in weight was a due to whatever illness he had going on. So let's see here. All right, we are in the fifth round, folks. All right, let's see. Let's check our picks. Make sure we don't do nothing crazy. All right, we got Ahmad Sauce Gardner, Perion Winfrey, Drake Jackson, Breece Hall, Wan'Dale Robinson, and Majay Sanders.
Well, we don't tore it up on defensive side, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
What I'm talking about.
Okay, so let's see. We got the punt man still there, Ariza. Jermaine Loyal. I don't know much about him. John Ridgeway, the D line out of Arkansas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant, the other corner. We could make a a pairing back there. We don't need another corner though.
Yeah.
All right. If you're needing a linebacker or wanting one, your man Jack Sanborn's still there. Hey, here we go. Let's go Cam Jurgens out of Nebraska.
Yeah.
We need help on that O-line. And Cam Jurgens is I heard called a 4th round Lindebaum. Is what I had somebody. So how do y'all feel about an interior O-lineman? Somebody said wide receiver. We got a wide receiver. We got Wendell Robinson. I'll see who's still left though. Maybe we can double dip. Danny Gray, Romeo Dobbs, Justin Ross. That's an intriguing name.
Yeah.
Jalen Nailor. If out of those, it'd either be Romeo Dobbs or Justin Ross.
Or Justin Ross. Yeah.
Any of those names get y'all going? Somebody says tight end. Let's look at tight end. All right, we got Justin Ross run it from Ronnie, so let's keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Jalen Windermere, who had horrible showings everywhere.
Yeah.
Cole Turner, who's interesting. Charlie Kohler, who's pretty interesting. That's about it, really. I think I'd rather go. I think I'd rather go Ross.
Yeah, Justin Ross,
Let's
man.
see here. Hold on. Yeah, I mean 6'3", 205. He's got the size you want. All right, let's go Justin Ross. All right, we grabbed Ross. All right, we got 2 more picks in the 6th, and then we're gonna look at our haul. I think next week when we do this, we're gonna use a different platform. Their ads, man, they're taking up most of my screen, and I don't like it.
Well, you got my account. You can always sign into.
I may have to do that next time.
You can do it because then you won't have to worry about that.
Yeah, true. See, I should have thought about that. That's why you the brains of the operation, Toby. All right.
No, I don't know about that now, but
hey, look, we ain't got a punter, and the punt god is still there. Matt Ariza. His 6th round. Can we take a punter, folks?
We need a punter, man, y'all.
We ain't got
a punter, man.
Somebody wants me to look at the QBs. Let's see who's still on the board. Nobody you want. Anthony Brown, Brock Purdy.
Jack Combs still there?
Now, look, I would take a look at Aqeel Glass out of Alabama A&M. Out of who's on? No, Cone ain't there.
Oh, okay.
All right. I think everybody's down with me for the punter. I think I convinced them.
So, yeah, we need a punter, y'all.
I mean, he's the 100th ranked player on Draft Network. So, all right. I think if Glass is there, if Aqeel Glass is there in our last 6th round pick, I'm going to take him. So let's see. All right, QB. Bam. And Aqeel Glass is there. Yay. Y'all want a QB? Right. Y'all want to take Glass out of A&M? I think we should. Yep. Somebody said Glass with the next pick. There it is. We're going to do it.
All right.
QB of the future right there. Picked in the 6th round.
That's
all right.
Good.
So our draft this time around is Ahmad Gardner, Perion Winfrey, Drake Jackson, Breece Hall, Wan'Dale Robinson, Majay Sanders, Justin Ross, Matt Ariza, and Aqeel Glass. Dude, I wouldn't be mad at that at all. Y'all pretty good at this mock draft stuff.
Yeah, that ain't bad at all, dude.
No, I like that quite a bit. I think I'm actually going to save that one and post it to Twitter. So, once we get done here. Somebody said they would have liked Jordan Davis at 8, though. I like Jordan Davis, and I think he's going to be a real good player. I really do. And again, I feel like I've been saying this on repeat tonight. If they took Jordan Davis at 8, I wouldn't be upset at all.
Yeah.
Because he could be the thing that allows the linebacker. He could be the player that allows the linebackers to wreak havoc like Pease likes to do.
Yeah.
So if they felt like that was their best player, then take him, and I wouldn't even complain. Wouldn't even complain. That or somebody said Travis Jones in a second. I could see that as well. a lot of times when we do these mock drafts, I just try to give you who's like within the first like 5 to 6 picks, or names at the top, so that we're going with what I consider to be the best player available model, which I feel like is the closest to what Terry Fontenot is said that he's doing. So, but anyway, so yeah, that was fun. That was good. We have bumped up over an hour, so unless y'all got anything else y'all want to say, Toby?
Oh man, I'm good, man. I got my rant out about this Matt Corral disrespect.
That was good. That was good. Hey, look, I liked it. Okay, just because, as I said before, we ain't a groupthink here. We do this and we have our own opinions and we voice them freely, but we do it with respect and not like ain't no sense in getting all mean spirited about it. Somebody says use PFF next. All right, next week, or not next week, but 2 weeks from now when we do this again, we'll use PFF because I know they're higher on Nico Benito than some of the other simulators, and that's a word of warning I want to give y'all when you're doing these using these simulators. Use a bunch of different ones. Use PFN. Use PFF. Use FanSpeak. Use them all. That way you don't just get locked in on, oh, well, they said this guy's going here.
Yeah.
Because they don't know either. They're making their best educated guess just like we are. So use them all. Get a better idea of where they think everybody's going to go. So if you want to see our draft in flesh, I'm going to post it on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Grim1128, GRIMM1128. Toby?
Toby D 1991.
There you go. And the next time y'all see us live, we will be 1 week away from the draft. So we should have a lot more smoke to dig through. But keep an eye on the channel as me and Toby are releasing, solo videos on, different things. Different topics that we're, as Toby likes to say, if we're thinking about it, we're talking about it. So just keep your eye on the channel. I know Adam, if he gets a chance, will be contributing as well. He's a very busy man with his football coaching, so hopefully he'll be with us next time we go live. And I'm trying to line up guests for our draft bonanza, or our draft-a-palooza. And so we'll see who we can drag on here with us, and we hope y'all join us. But as always, man, we appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Merch if you want it, Patreon if you like it. Don't have to, but again, we appreciate y'all. And as always, Falcons fans, rise up.
Rise up.